everybody, it's Robbie, and I just wanted to do this quick little video, and it is going to be quick, on Brad's Atomic Grape Tomatoes, or cherry tomatoes, whatever way you want to call it. I bought some on, well, I bought mine on eBay, but Baker Creek's got them too. Reason I bought them on eBay is I had some eBay bucks to get rid of, and he had them for like $2 for 30 seeds. So I planted a couple of them, and the one that's doing the best is the one on the deck, on my garden deck. And look at these. There are over 100 of these tomatoes growing on this plant. Now, granted, I have a compost in place bucket where I dump my kitchen scraps, cereal, milk, whatever is bad in the bucket in there. So it's got more food than it needs. And look how big it's gotten. There are so many, I started to count them, and there's over 100. Now, none of them have ripened yet, but they're almost there. And I have observed that the clusters seem to have, on an average, 7 tomatoes. Now, not all the tomatoes make it. Sometimes the teeniest one on the end doesn't get fertilized, or something happens to it, it doesn't make it. But they tend to have 7. I have found a few that had 8 or 9 tomatoes, but they tend to have 7, and 6 have survived. So I've got, like, on each one about 6. Some of them do have 7, but I counted how many batches I've got on. This is one plant. This whole thing that's going all the way around here, let me see if you can see this behind me. This whole thing here is one plant, and it's getting really tall. So I'm gonna have to stake it up more. Look at this, one plant. I have figured, I started counting, I lost count when I got kind of over 100. So there's over 100, and they're good size already. So they're doing really good. I've got one growing in my garden outside in a big container in the yard, and it's not growing as good. It kind of got fed the same. It wasn't the squash. Some people are going to say, oh, I see zucchini growing and that's what did it. No, because I planted it first and it never really grew, and maybe the weather conditions are a little bit different there, and it likes the deck for whatever reason. This one's doing good. I'm going to get a few more planted that I started. I'll put the link on where I bought mine, but Baker Creek's got them too, and I'm really happy with it. I will say that on these tomatoes, the Brad's tomatoes, I did not trim the suckers. The only thing I trimmed was the base. It's so big and thick that the leaves, so they don't touch the soil. Even in a container, you really don't want the leaves to sit on there, and it kind of will create more problems if insects or stuff kind of crawl, or mold or whatever. So I trim the bottom leaves. But as far as suckers, no, I actually don't trim suckers unless they're in the way. I might trim off some suckers, and then I might root them. And I'll probably do the same here with Brad's. I'll probably root a lot of these as well. But as far as trimming suckers, when you trim off the side shoots, and a lot of people like doing that, you're actually trimming off your production. So I'm not sure why people do that, but I guess they want to direct their plants a certain way. This one is taken off all different ways. It's going sideways. It's going way up there. It's probably about 4 feet tall because, you know, it's in a container. But no, I don't trim off the suckers because the suckers are the plant. I don't know. But like I said, everybody does it their own way. If you want to trim it, trim it. But when you trim off the suckers, you're going to trim off all the extra tomatoes that are growing on it. The other thing I did is when I strung them up here on the deck, because they're getting so big, I used a soft yarn. I didn't want to damage anything, so I didn't use my masking tape on this, but a really soft yarn. And this one, I even made a chain stitch of yarn, and I kind of pulled it up gently because I'm just kind of helping it ease up. But look at all the tomatoes. Yarn works good. It's only going to last so long, so it's a tomato plant. So I just wanted to show you in case you haven't seen it, but there it is, and they're beautiful. They're right now deep purple and black. The ones underneath, the largest ones, they're about that big, and they're getting very close to harvest. And when I harvest them, I'll show you later on. I'm thinking anytime. They've only been in here a couple months, so it's doing really good for a couple months. And this is the bucket where I compost in here. I put my food scraps in here, so it's constantly getting a supply of food, you know, which is what, from the house, and it's whatever is going to go in the trash goes in that bucket basically. So I hope I've given you some, you know, thoughts on planting, maybe trying some different types of tomatoes, I'm really happy with it. But like I said, I'm keeping this one short. So try it. I started it in the paper cups, the way I start my tomatoes. And then I moved the paper cup in there. There's the bottom of the tomato plant down there. I moved it in there with the paper cup, which is long gone. It grew through the paper cup and it did really good. I've got one more over here, but it's very small and I stuck it in here for now. So I'm going to try to figure out where to plant it, and I might plant it in the same way since it didn't do as well in my garden. But that's it. This is one plant and I let the suckers grow. I did not trim it because every sucker, these are all, as some people call suckers, side shoots, every single one is loaded with tomatoes. So why would I cut that off? Just feed your plant well, compost in place, and you should have all the tomatoes you want. Have a great day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye, everybody.